Hello, I'm Delea with True North Equestrians, and this is the introductory class to Quest Forward, which is my alternative to resolutions. A quest, when you quest forward, it's an exploration of desires and intentions, possibilities. It's what you would like to experience more of in the future, but unlike a resolution, it's not absolute. Here is where the value is placed on the passage itself. Now I'm going to be using notes today because if I don't, I go on walkabout and I'll end up talking about sourdough bread or something because that's just how my mind works. So I will be using some notes today. Resolutions never work for me. I feel like there's so much judgment attached to it. I don't know if it's because I was raised very, very strictly or if a resolution is absolutely an absolute type thing. I'm not into absolute. I'm into, to me, it's more value of what the journey is like to get to where you think you want to go. And maybe that isn't where you want to go. Maybe you'll end up someplace else, but just as happy or far happier. So that's why I use the word you quest forward. You take a quest on what you want to bring forward into your life as you travel. So the practice of questing forward resonates more with me. I see it more as an invitation to set intentions and at the same time be open to adventure rather than a solid verdict of pass or fail. Like I said, this may not feel the same to other people, but for people like me that resolutions are just too harsh or put too much pressure, and it's not a matter of you don't have dedication or discipline, it's a matter of how you get there. It's not a matter of a resolution, I'm going to do it or die, and I'm just going to work harder and practice more and more and make my horse practice more and more. It's a matter of let's find a way that we can get there more harmoniously. And that doesn't mean we don't have challenges, but there's so much insight in a lot of the challenges that we can use to our benefit on any quest. And I purposely offered this quest a little bit later in the year instead of right on January 1st because people may set goals or they belong to some kind of a group and they started something and it may not be working for them. They're looking for something alternative. So this gives people time to kind of sort out and maybe rethink what it is that they've set a resolution for. So Joseph Campbell says, a quest is to find the inward thing that you are. So imagine finding this within yourself and within your horse. I recommend that when you start a quest that you also start a ritual. Rituals give intentions to our actions with intentions. They give meaning to what it is that we desire and they bring it into physical form. And it makes it easier for us to process because we're humans. It gives us something tangible to relate to and to attach emotion to. And this is important. Emotion is very powerful. So once you decide you're going to do a ritual, the memory of your emotions can draw on that ritual when you need to go back and ground out and maybe find some balance. They also encourage clarity and presence. They help us to identify our defenses and our illusions so that we can better define our intention. They help us quiet the mind of communication and let the act of ritual speak. When doing a ritual, we're mindful. Rituals make thoughts and emotions tangible. They give us something physical to relate to. So do some kind of a ritual. You need to be mindful during a quest, and a ritual will help. If you find yourself scattered when you're getting ready to do some work that you feel like will bring you forward to your discipline or your goal or your liberty work or whatever it is, you might have to go back to that ritual because it will help you remember whatever symbols or items you use in that ritual, whatever actions, they can help ingrain in your emotions and help bring you balance and restore some of the harmony that you had in the beginning when you first felt this desire to even take this quest. Okay, if you aren't mindful, you're going to miss road signs, landmarks, and synchronicities and warnings in a quest. So God knows we need to be mindful. Okay, so you can create any kind of ritual with your horse. I recommend doing something you don't normally do. So I don't know what that would be for you, but I spend a lot of quiet time with my horses and I don't really have a discipline. I ride trail. Would like to do that, always wanting to make that a little better. And having said that, very pleased with where we are also. But I would like it to be a little smoother. Chant doesn't like to cross the bridges. So This is going to be my intention, that we will cross bridges with confidence and with harmony. So the way I'm setting my intention with my horses is, Chant does love to be groomed. So when I groom her, her body, it's like every hair, every fiber in her being absorbs that. It's really interesting. She's totally focused on where I'm touching her, what it feels like. She processes it all. She doesn't just enjoy it like some horses do, where they'll, they roll their eyes a little bit, or they just, stretch their neck and lick. She actually doesn't do much of that. She absorbs, she processes it. I'm not sure what touch means to her. I think when she was really young, she didn't get touched much. She was never abused. They were neglected. This herd was neglected, but not always. And it's really interesting that grooming for her it's like a holy thing. I mean, it really means a lot. That's different than when I brush her to tack her. But when I just go out to only groom, I have all of this like holy energy that surrounds us. And I don't listen to music. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to brush my horse and watch her response, because I'm listening to how she takes in what it is that I'm offering. Now, Mystic is a touch me not. You can scratch her where she's itchy. Her neck is usually itchy. But other than that, she doesn't want to be touched. So what I have to do is I almost like build this, it's not really a bubble, but I create an energy field around us so that nothing else can penetrate. And for her, that's holy, because I'm only focused on her. The other horses don't matter. She, like I said, she doesn't really want to be touched, so I just kind of spend that time quietly after I scratch the few itchy spots. So do something that you don't normally do with your horses. I mean, if you don't normally take them for a walk before you start working with them, then do that, and only do that. Make it a holy thing that you're doing in honor of this desire and this intention that you set out. Okay, let me see here. Being committed to the journey of the quest holds more power for me than the determination of a set outcome. A resolution usually suggests discipline, and discipline can be beautiful, but for me it's too harsh. But a quest fills your days with rituals, possibilities, and the unknown, and purpose more than meeting a goal. So if you're a person who likes resolutions, the quest may not hold much appeal for you. On a quest, it's a journey, and you do need to leave home. And what I mean by that is you're going to have to leave, not abandon or get rid of, but you're going to have to leave for a while, maybe some of your beliefs, some of the things that you're already attached to about this desire that you have. Because if you're so attached on the whole quest, you won't be able, it's going to bring you more challenges, and you're not going to be able to take in new information. You're not going to be taking in new possibilities that may be presenting themselves to you. So you do have to leave home, meaning leave part of your practices, your beliefs, maybe the safety of your community for a while, so that you can find answers that will fulfill your desires. You may not even find the answers you set out to find, but you may find other answers, or more importantly, you're probably going to find more questions. These may explain far more than you thought possible. Now, I'm not asking you to throw away everything you believe. I'm just asking you to suspend them a little bit so you can have more information that you can later on incorporate into what you've priorly learned. It will build what it is that you know. It will build what you believe is possible. Okay, so there's 4 key points I'm going to just address. A quest is an adventurous journey with a goal in mind. So what I'm going to ask you to do, or recommend that you do, is to either make some kind of a journal, get some kind of a journal. You might make something special, maybe some homemade paper, and tie it with hay, twine, or leather. Something that's only for this quest. Or you might make a vision board. And when you start, the vision board, if you're going to make that, you start out with your dreams and your goals. Leave it open so you can finish building it as you go. It's not a complete picture in the very beginning, because it's a quest. Okay, so when setting intentions, be honest with your level of knowledge of you both, you and your horse. Okay, you got to be honest about that and not get carried away with dreams of what you want, however lovely they are. The level of emotional honesty and quality is essential. You have to be honest with where you are and where your horse is. Consider the ways that you and your horse can travel this desire together. As you embark on the quest, notice some things that will need honest attention. Okay, you can write these down if you want in your journal or make pictures on your vision board. Does your horse like what you're asking of him or her? This is, like 101, but a lot of people don't think of it. They think it's a great idea, how fun that is. I really thought Chant, she's a really beautiful horse, and I really thought she was going to like dressage because I could just see her being so perfect, and I was dreading it because I'm not much of an arena rider, but I just kind of assumed she would want to be beautiful and show up in a ring like that. No, she likes the trail. Blessing for me, but I didn't expect that from her. So I had to be honest with what it is that she really likes. It's not that she doesn't like the arena, but she loves the trail. So be honest with what your horse likes when what you're asking them. I had a friend out here. She had a little Arab that, most Arabs are fabulous in endurance, and that's what she wanted to do. The horse was terrified of everything on the trail. She had several accidents, and the horse couldn't have had a kinder person ever to be more tolerant and supportive. It just didn't work. So she ended up rehoming him to someone who only did arena work, and the horse calmed down. So you have to be honest with what it is that your horse wants to do and be fair about that. And I understand, still incorporate your own desires, but there's a lot of ways to be happy without a certain outcome. As human, I think we get caught up. I get caught up on, it has to look like this when I get there. And it's simply not true. There's just so many other endings that can be good and bring happiness. Do you need help from someone that knows more than you and your horse? Do you need someone to observe where you and your horse are right now? Just observe you. How are you as a team? You may have an insightful friend that's capable of doing this, but if not, seek out an honorable professional that will assess how connected you are with your horse right now. Because aside from skill, they know that a horse that's respected is far more interested in cooperating than one that is not. So find a trainer that's not just looking to sell you 10 lessons in bulk. Someone who will assess you and your horse as a couple and how you are as a team. This is very important. Can you become the observer and witness you and your horse right now? I talk about being an observer a lot. And the best way I can describe that, I use this in my Equestrian Namaste course, but it's you kind of detach from what's going on right now, and you just kind of hover above as if you're watching you and your horse. You're seeing what's really happening. This happened to me a few years back when I was still in California. I rode this one trail. We'd ridden it a couple of weeks earlier, and my friends and I, we had the 3 bays, is what we called them, the 3 bay mares. We had a fabulous ride, and in the meantime, there was this apocalyptic storm that went through, and I mean apocalyptic. Lots of oak trees there, just uproots them. The trees are 12 feet tall, the roots are 12 feet tall. But anyway, as soon as the trail was better, we were all set out to ride, and I just knew we were going to have another fabulous ride because why not? We had a fabulous one last time, and I knew the storm had happened. It was going to look different. But I was on a horse, and a horse is an instinctual animal, and I was so frustrated because she was stopping and looking. She was not fluid and forward like she normally is. Everything got her attention. And I wrestled with that for probably 25, 30 minutes. And it's like, okay, something's got to give because this is a bad ride. And I detached and I became the observer. And I saw me as a human with all of my drive going forward. And I saw her as a horse that's a slave to her environment and her instincts. And the trail was truly very, very different. Trees knocked down. It was very, very different, runoff and slash from all the rain. And from there, I was able to just relax and go, she's going to sort it out in time. We'll relax. And it's not going to be the same ride that we had. But boy, I did not want to surrender that, but I had to. So become the observer. Do you need to work on your partnership before asking for physical progress in whatever it is that you're wanting, even if it's liberty work, whatever? Do you need to work on your partnership first? I guess on liberty work, you'd really need to work on that first. Okay, then ask yourself, why does this desire matter to you? What it is, this goal, this intention that you want, why does it matter to you? That alone will give you a lot of answers as to how the journey will take place. Yay or nay. Okay, number 2, along the way there are challenges, obstacles, and unexpected encounters. And it takes conscious awareness to not react to challenges. As I just said in my story, I was not conscious for about 30 minutes of that ride. And thank goodness I finally came to my senses and I surrendered that. So when a challenge arises, become the observer. If it's a physical issue, a knowledge issue, an issue of understanding, misunderstanding, or disconnect. A quest is not a sum total of the end result. It's about how you get there and what you are open to learning on the way. This just spills over into so many other areas of your relationship with your horse and how your horsehumanship. If you are open to unexpected information rather than focusing on results, you'll receive answers that support the desires. So sometimes it's not what you think. I rode Mystic for probably 10, 12 years, and somewhere along the line I ended up with really bad knees. And then I ended up with Chant. Well, I ended up with Eli and then Chant. And a good friend of mine, Erin McChesney, is an instructor, so I was taking some lessons from her. And I just couldn't sit up straight in the saddle anymore. I leant forward, I hinged at the hips. And I look back at pictures of me riding before, and I didn't do that. So what had happened, and we had to look at this a little bit, because my knees were bad, it affected my hip. Your ankle bone's connected to your ear bones. And I ended up having to adjust and just make concessions for some things. And I finally got my knees replaced and a little better on that. But there are things you have to look at that you may tend to overlook or dismiss that really do affect how you and your horse are going to progress forward. Maybe it's you, maybe it's your horse, maybe it's both. But those are things that you have to take into consideration if you want to actually make success. So, and even then you may have to change your focus of what it is that you want that will accommodate it, because you can be happy with your horse in many different end results if we're just not so attached to the one outcome. We can't be just total resolution. It's got to be that or nothing. I'm not going to be happy. That's just not true. So if your horse has a physical limit that limits the ability to reach the goal, keeping your focus on the end result will limit your ability to consider another possibility that works for both of you, like I said with Lisa and Tico. If you both can't handle the environment that you set this goal in, then something's got to give. Maybe you can find something that's totally different. Sadly, occasionally you have to part company and find something that fits better. But many times, if we're just willing, we can come up with a solution that will honor what both needs. It's really important that we look at that and not say so attached to the outcome that we insist that our horse turn itself inside out to become what it is that we want it to be. And vice versa. If I had a horse that wanted to jump big fences, I don't know, I don't jump big fences. So fortunately, I'm not faced with that. I have a horse that likes trail. Okay, as you face challenges, find a way to incorporate this information into your journal or your vision board. It's part of the quest and it carries information, so keep track of it. It will tell a story as you go back and reread it, or as you go over that vision board again. It carries information in the story. Okay, so number 3 is you build on the information gained from the experiences. Okay, at major speed you need practice or instruction, but if you find yourself with more frustration or questions, let go of the desired results and let the quest show you options. Go back to, again, if your horse has a physical restriction or then respect that. In the meantime, look for alternate ways to bring contentment to your desires. There's more than one way to be happy for a desire or an outcome. It can be difficult or discouraging to view challenges as opportunities, but a quest always views it as such. A quest asks you to become more than you were. This may include downsizing your desires of a certain discipline in order to honor what you're capable of doing or what your horse is capable of doing. Honoring this knowledge is already success. Once you realize where you are, what your thresholds are, what your limits are, what your time, what are the practical things that may limit what it is that you really thought you wanted to do. But you can be happy with something else if you're willing to just explore what that might be. Finding what you both can reasonably and comfortably do is wisdom found within a quest. Honor this. And number 4, did you reach your goal or your desire? And here's where it gets interesting. Did you reach the goal, or would you discover other things that needed attention? Did you unexpectedly realize that you don't even know why you set that goal in the first place? So say your goal was to master flying lead changes. And being open to where you honestly are in the quest will show you haven't mastered gate transitions yet, or leg yields yet. So chances are you thought you were farther along than you actually are. And in your desire and your enthusiasm, you set a goal that is going to take more of a journey than maybe what you first realized. The thing is, there's no shame in this. Traveling the quest will offer a deeper look into where you are right now, and this is essential in your partnership with your horse. It keeps you honest. It's not failure to not reach your goal. It is insight into the areas that need more attention. When these cues are mastered, you will be ready for flying lead changes, and then they will come much easier. You and your horse will be better educated and ready for this. A resolution for this same goal may tell you you need to work harder, expect more. A quest will forgive your flaws or ignorance and offer more opportunity to learn. Possibly you are off course on the goal itself. Maybe you were influenced by your community, by people at your barn, by people, the other horse people you know, your environment, your past, your history. Perhaps you thought you wanted your horse to accomplish a certain move or discipline, when what you really want is flow with a horse that's eager to work with you. We all want that. Or you want to be the partner that knows how to educate properly, but you look for this in the result rather than the process of the partnership. Honesty and challenges will show you this is the proverbial cart before the horse, and now you know. You got focused on the goal and forgot about some of that pesky stuff in between. While on a quest, be compassionate. Be compassionate to yourself, be compassionate to your horse, to your partnership together. Be compassionate towards the setbacks, be compassionate even as well as celebratory in the successes. But always keep compassion there because it keeps you soft. Your horse will feel this. You will feel this. Okay, on a quest, the unknown is as important as the goal. What you have placed as a goal may actually be small in comparison to the possibility that will come as you learn more. This is the whole experience of a quest. So I'm holding a quest for me and my horses this year, and I hope that you join in and find this to be a compelling and joyful way to travel, a new way of being with your horse. Something you want to learn, something else you want to become, something you want to unbecome is still a quest. So I'm Delea with True North Equestrians. If you'd like more information about my work or want to consider a private quest based on just you and your horse, let me know. You can reach me on social media, Facebook and Instagram, True North Equestrians, and my website is truenorthequestrians.com. Thanks for joining me today.